mother body, all of them. Not a single one of them is loyal to the EFF. If you want to test that, remove them from position tomorrow and go and check their Facebook status and talk of loyalty. And there's nothing wrong in not being loyal to the EFF because it's a new idea. No one can be loyal to a new idea.
Hello there guys and welcome to Daily Updates. It has been 2 days since the resignation of Floyd Shivambu from the Economic Freedom Fighters. Just 4 hours ago, Floyd went on to Twitter and posted the following message under the MK party saying that the most solid and sound decision ever. He is posting under the MK party welcome, which really tells us that Floyd Shivambu has closed the chapter on the Economic Freedom Fighters to open a new chapter in the MK party. It is no longer about what Floyd wants, what Floyd is going to do. Floyd Shivambu is the new member of the MK party and he has forgotten about the Economic Freedom Fighters. Since the resignation of Floyd Shivambu, a lot of people in South Africa have been debating about this issue, and actually many have been saying that this is a strategy between the EFF and the MK party in order to defeat the ANC. People are saying that MK party and the EFF are working together. Floyd Shivambu going to the MK party, it is just a strategy so that he can go there and help develop the MK party so that they can come together aligning to fight the ANC. And I'm here to say that that is incorrect. There is no such thing that is being in the works. EFF was ambushed by the decision of Floyd Shivambu. Now, before we go on further with this issue, and also the possibility of Mbuyiseni Ndlozi leaving the EFF, we need to take a walk back to 2023. In 2023, the EFF welcomed a member of the ANC by the name of Makazole Mzobe. Mzobe was at one point in the ANC Youth League leadership in KZN. So by him being welcomed in the EFF, it was not just an ordinary member. This is someone who's well known. This is someone who's coming from the ANC into the EFF. So the introduction of Mzobe was one of the big things because the EFF was looking to take over. Mzobe goes to the EFF and immediately he's invited to the EFF podcast and even going further to campaign for the EFF because now he's the new man in the EFF. They have to welcome him with both hands. So Mzobe is welcomed in the EFF, and in December, the MK party is launched, the Umkhonto weSizwe party. Julius Malema, in one of the press conferences, he says that before MK was launched, he sat down with Jacob Zuma to speak about a whole range of issues, and on that table, one of them was making sure that the ANC is defeated in 2024 elections. We enter 2024, Floyd Shivambu is deployed to the KZN to stabilize that province and also to gather more support for the Economic Freedom Fighters. At one point, Julius Malema said that they did not expect the support they received from the KZN during the last elections, so they are looking to increase on what they received. Floyd Shivambu is in KZN and they are preparing for their rally in Moses Mabhida. What happens next is that the rally in Moses Mabhida becomes more of a flop. And when Julius Malema addressed, indirectly, he hinted at the flop of Moses Mabhida. After the Moses Mabhida rally, Floyd Shivambu gets redeployed to Eastern Cape. This is a vote of no confidence in what he did in the KZN. That is fine. We go to the elections. The EFF receives 9%. The MK party gets 14%. This is a big concern. From being number 3, the EFF is reduced to being number 4. On top of them, it is the MK party, the Democratic Alliance, and the ANC. What happens next is a very surprising move. The same Mzobe who went to the EFF last year, 2023, around October, now is leaving the EFF to MK party. He goes there and is welcomed with a position in the presidency. How ironic. He was in the EFF, goes out, goes to the MK party. The EFF lost to the MK party. Now he has a position in the presidency. As time goes, we witness one of the most surprising departure in the economic freedom fighters. The member of the freedom fighters, the deputy president, someone who started the economic freedom fighters together with Julius Malema, is resigning. Floyd Shivambu is leaving the EFF, and he is not just going to any other political party. He is following on the footstep of Mzobe. He is going to be joining the MK party. The departure of Floyd Shivambu not only shook Julius Malema, it also shook the rest of South Africa, because that departure is something nobody ever thought about it, because Julius Malema and Floyd Shivambu were like a solid team. They were like brothers, biggest friends who formed EFF to go and work together, president and deputy. But before we go on the reason why MK party is destroying the EFF, the next person that we need to focus on is Mbuyiseni Ndlozi. He is member of the EFF, and at the moment, since Floyd Shivambu left, the only engine of the EFF would be Mbuyiseni Ndlozi. But where does he stand in terms of Floyd Shivambu leaving the EFF? A lot of members have been tweeting, have been sending posts about, let us come together, let us form this political party, let us rally behind Julius Malema, because we believe that he's going to build this EFF together and make it a formidable force again. Where is Mbuyiseni Ndlozi? The last post we saw of Mbuyiseni Ndlozi was on Twitter, when he reposted a quote that said that it is better to sacrifice everything than to live in slavery. That is the only post that Mbuyiseni Ndlozi did, and it was before Floyd Shivambu left. He knew Floyd Shivambu was leaving. He posted that before Floyd Shivambu left. Since Floyd Shivambu left, Mbuyiseni Ndlozi never said anything. He kept quiet, which really could say that the silence of Mbuyiseni Ndlozi is very loud. Malema said that there are other members who are going to follow Floyd Shivambu because they support him. They align with Floyd Shivambu. The question then is Mbuyiseni one of those? Because it looks like he has kept mum on the issue of Floyd leaving. He has kept mum on gathering more support for EFF and Julius Malema. The indication could be he's trying to leave, and they are probably begging him not to leave, because you lose Floyd Shivambu, you lose Mbuyiseni Ndlozi, that is the end of the EFF. You cannot survive without Mbuyiseni and Floyd Shivambu. If Mbuyiseni Ndlozi is brought forward as one of the top 6 and given a good position, he's going to help build that organization together with Julius Malema. He is a very vital member of the organization, and his silence is very worrying, which indicates that he could be tempted to leave the organization. The question that is left is how and why would Jacob Zuma and the MK party want to destroy the economic freedom fighters? Now, to answer that, we have to go back the last day when Jacob Zuma left office.
Thank you. We'll meet someone.
By Jacob Zuma saying that we are going to meet again, this is not the last time. It indicated that the score is not settled. Jacob Zuma has a score to settle with Ramaphosa because he's the one who made sure that Jacob Zuma is removed as the president. But Ramaphosa is not the only person that Jacob Zuma has a score to settle. I believe that Jacob Zuma also has a score to settle with Julius Malema and the economic freedom fighters. The reason for that is because EFF was in the front in terms of pushing Jacob Zuma out, pay back the money, Babaga Duduzane, all those name calling, all that pressure for Jacob Zuma to leave, it cannot be pushed aside by Jacob Zuma. We always hear about, in politics, there are no enemies. In politics, there are no grudges. But in this circumstance, there are a lot of grudges. If there were no grudges, Jacob Zuma would just leave and never want to settle the score with Ramaphosa. Now, we've seen the Tea Party, Julius Malema with Dalim Mpofu coming into Nkandla to have a tea party after that arrest warrant of Jacob Zuma. They went there to try and convince Jacob Zuma to say that, hand yourself in. And I'm sure they had a lot of things to say. Now Jacob Zuma is out of jail. he forms MK Party. He goes on and contests the elections. But before that, ANC tries to stop Jacob Zuma and MK Party from participating in the general elections. They try by all means, they always lose in court. Finally, MK Party is part of the political parties that are contesting general elections. When elections were done, they received 14%, 14.5%. The Economic Freedom Fighters receive 9.5%. You look back at the issues, you look back at the strategy of Jacob Zuma, it will tell you that the strategy is to go back at all the people that were at the forefront of being against Jacob Zuma. The EFF was very vocal against Jacob Zuma. Jacob Zuma is very old. He cannot take part in politics, but he can at the background, and by doing that is destroying the ANC of Ramaphosa and also destroying the EFF. But to destroy the ANC of Ramaphosa, you have to get all those members. You have to take the power from the EFF and use it against the ANC. That is why Jacob Zuma is on a course, the MK Party is on a course to make sure that they leave the EFF as weak as it can. And once they do that, they get all the power and use it against the ANC. What we are going to see next is the destruction of the Economic Freedom Fighters. That will lead to MK Party being a very strong political party. And in 2029, we might see EFF getting 2 to 4%, while the MK Party tries to get 20%.